Lance here from the Rocky Mountain Life channel. Out doing another Wednesday ride. This is actually a new section of trail that the Forest Service cut in or a little over a year ago, or about a year ago I guess. I rode it last fall, last September with Dave, and I loved it because it was smooth, no whoops, no sand. Well, now I'm convinced that the Forest Service brings in the gravelly sand because now it's the same sort of texture as pretty much all the other trails around here. And I'm sure they do that for drainage and erosion purposes. There's even a few whoops that I've hit already that have been cut into it. So, not the soft, grippy stuff that was on it last September, but I guess I'm not surprised. But it's a nice trail. It's 357, branches off from the unloading area at Rule Ridge Trailhead. See, here's a whoop right here. I don't remember that being there last year, but that's all right. It's warm today, guys. Even up here at 9,100 feet above sea level, it's warm. So, good thing I've got a bunch of water with me because I feel like I'm going to need it today. I actually got a question for you guys. When I first got this bike with the stock tires and everything, my front tire always leaked a little bit, and I mean slowly, but I'd always have to add a couple pounds of pressure to it pretty much every week, and it wasn't a big deal. Didn't really impact my riding. It was just something I had to check, and I checked both my tires before I ever ride anyway, so it wasn't a big deal to me. It was just something I noticed. I checked the valve stem to make sure it was tight, and it always was. Whoa. And so then, what was it, last year, I put new tires on it, including a front, put a new tube in it, and it's doing the exact same thing with the new tube. It just leaks a little bit of air very slowly. The rear one doesn't. I almost never have to adjust the rear pressure. I only do it if I'm going to adjust it for a ride. Like a couple weeks ago when I did the ride, the big long dual sport ride with Steve, I added some air to it because I knew there was going to be some pavement. And so that's the only time I have to adjust the air in the rear tire, is if I'm doing it on purpose for changing riding conditions. But the front one just always leaks. It's not the valve stem, it's a new tube. So I don't know, do you guys have any ideas on what that could be? Just always been kind of curious about that. Org. So this is going to be my first trail ride of the year. Super Dave and I tried earlier this year. I want to say, when was that? Was that May? I think that was late May. And we weren't able to go anywhere because of all the downed trees. So this, even though it's July, this is my first trail ride of the season. So I expect to be rusty, but so far it's a beautiful day out there. It's a little warm. There's really no wind to speak of either, which makes it hotter, but at the same time it's nice to not have all the dust blowing around, all that stuff. So I don't know, we're gonna see if we can get our balance back here today and hopefully have a good time. I'm actually out here by myself. That's another thing I have to be aware of today, is I don't have any backup. Steve's in Florida, pretty sure. Tommy's working. Super Dave just came back from a big trip of his own out of state, so he is not able to be here. Ferret Face is super duper busy. I didn't want to bug him. He's got a lot going on in his life with his business, full-time military, and of course doing this on a Wednesday morning is always hard for a lot of people. So first time in a while I've actually ridden by myself, though. And it's not that I mind it necessarily. I really don't mind it. But it's definitely more fun with somebody else. And a lot safer. So I have to be a little more careful today. Breaking something and needing help isn't going to be a very good idea. But it's always good to get out in the woods. Just like you've heard me say, for those of you who've watched very many of my videos, you'll hear me say that I've always said that the worst day in the woods is better than the best day at work. I'm not sure that's true. I could think of a pretty bad day out here. But I would probably prefer to be at work instead of breaking a femur out here or something like that. But generally speaking, a day in the woods is almost always better than a day at work. So I'm happy to be here. And whoa. Still not sold on these tires. A lot of guys really recommend these Tusk Recon hybrids, which is what the rear one is. I don't like it. I believe that when I change this one out next time, it's going to be back to the Shinko 505 cheater. I just feel for this terrain and this sandy, gravelly garbage that's everywhere, that cheater always just felt more stable to me. This one, the rear end's wanting to kick out on me more, slide out. The front tire I have on this is an IRC. I don't even remember the model of it. And I'm not really sold on that one either. Even though it's technically a better tire than the stock short half enduro DOT knobbies that come on these dual sport betas from the factory, I actually felt more stable on the original tire than I do this one. So, whoa, like that. Just a light tap on the front brake and that tire tried to go sideways on me. I've kind of gotten used to it. These tires have been on it for a year now, but I just don't feel like I'm as confident on them as I was the original one. So I like the combination of the Michelin European Enduro front tire and the Shinko Cheater 505 rear tire. Sorry for that head whip. I got a whole bunch of people that are unloading as I was coming down the trail, so I'm pretty sure they're going to come up behind me any second. I'm trying to keep an eye out for them so I don't hold them up. So yeah, the tire situation is a little frustrating to me. I thought the IRC tire would be a good one, but I haven't been happy with it. I haven't been super unhappy with it either. It's just, I just feel a little different riding than I did before, and that's really what it boils down to. And being such a beginner type of rider, not great skills, and a healthy fear of crashing and dinging myself up too much, I'm mindful of how these tires feel when they get squirrely on me. So I don't see anybody coming up the trail, and I don't hear anybody. But there's Pikes Peak. You can see the mountain there. Beautiful valley here. If we drop right down here, the big trail there at the bottom by that rock, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some trees right next to it. But that's 717. And I've ridden that one a lot. It's a One of my favorite places to ride. It literally is about 43 miles from my house, according to my GPS, to get to the trailhead here. Now, it takes me over an hour, but the actual mileage is pretty low. So it's pretty cheap entertainment as far as gas money and things like that goes. So it's a good way to spend a Wednesday when pretty much everybody else is at work. So I'm going to go hit some 717. If anything interesting comes up, I'll slam it in here. Otherwise, I will say thanks for coming along, and I will see you next time.